Hi, I hope you're having an amazing day. Today I'm going to show you how you can search multiple collections in your Wix website. So for example, here we have the collection name team, and then we also have collection name projects. So as you can see here, there's two different collections. So let's test our search here. So the first thing we do is type project, and it's showing us all project names, right? And then if I type something like, let's say, team, will that show? Wait, let's do name. Actually, that's project. Let me see, because we're gonna see right now in the code. Let's do full name. Let's do job title because I think that's what I'm searching. Job title. So if I do job, there you go. So as you can see, I can search two different collections on the same search. Now, if you want to display two different results, it's also possible. So as you can see here, this one says job title, and this one is project name. And then if we look at the code, you'll see how I structure it. We're also gonna modify this code a little bit because when we start the search, we want to be able to see some results, or we can have it to completely not show anything. So depending on what you want to do there. But pretty much this is a very simple code. We're going to go through it very quick. I'll show you exactly what it does. But as you can see here, we're searching in the projects collection and also on the teams collection. And the main things that we're searching are my projects field ID and job title field ID. That's why when I was typing the other stuff, that didn't work. So if we go to our collections, so let's go to projects, and we go to my projects. This is the field ID that I was using. So we're gonna go and create a new search so that way you exactly see how it was done. And if you have questions, feel free to add them in the comments. Hope I can help you a lot with this video. But if you still have questions or you need help, just let me know in the comments. I'll be very happy to help you. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna add a new page, and we're gonna start from scratch so that way you see exactly what we're doing. And then we're just gonna name search multi collections. And pretty much what I did in the other example, it was very simple. We're gonna add an element. The number one thing you want to do is go into the code section if you're on Wix Studio and make sure you select turn on. So it should look something like this if you haven't turned it on. And then once you click that, you should see this panel right here and this one at the bottom. You can just click again and that'll get minimized, and this one right here. If you're on a classic editor, you're gonna see at the top an option that says developer mode, and then you can just turn it on there. So once you do that, then this option right here, name input, is gonna show. And once you click on here, we're gonna use this text input. And on this specific example, we're gonna make it even more advanced than this one right here, because as you notice right now, there's no what do you call it, suggestions. So we're gonna add a suggestions as well, so that way you can see a drop down of options before the repeater. So we'll do that as well. And once we add our input element right here, which I got it from this section right here, is that one. All I have to do is go into the settings, remove this, and then next I'll add here search, and then that's it. Lastly, I'll go here on the corners and then I'll just do 30, and that way it looks like a search bar. And then we're gonna add a repeater. So we're gonna go to containers, layouts, and then repeaters, and then just pick whichever you want. The design doesn't matter. It's just it has to be a repeater. So I'm gonna select this one just because it makes it very easy to use, and then I'll add it right there. And right there. Oops, this is right there. Okay. And then I'm going to add an image inside of the repeater. So let's just use this one for now. You can select any image, to be honest, doesn't matter. And then we're gonna expand this a little bit and add a text so that way we know what we're searching for. And we're gonna add that right there. Change it to, let's do 17. And I don't want it to be bold. I want it to be just display. And then here I can just do title CMS. And then it's just a regular text, nothing fancy here. Again, just make sure you design your box or your element according to what you need to do. This option of searching multiple collections is being a common popular question lately. So that's why I'm doing this. So if there's something very specific you want, just let me know so I can try to make a video about it. Here we're just gonna do email. I don't know if you need email here, but just because it's the most common element. And then that's it. So we have our title, email, and then what else? Oh, we can also add a button if we want to. Nah, it's fine. We'll just keep it like that. So once we have this right there, this element right here, we're not going to connect it to any collection, any data set. This one also is not going to be connected because what we're going to be using is the field IDs. So if we go to the example that I created here, on the code, and I'll show you where to get each of them. As you can see here, this is the ID of our element that where people are going to type. And then now we have dynamic event handlers. So we don't even need to add an event handler right there. But then the part that it's going to change for you, depending also on how many collections you have, is just duplicating this right here. If you have multiple collections, in this case, we're doing 2 examples for 2 collections. But let's say if you wanted to add a third one, then this is pretty much what you need to add. So as you can see here, this is the collection name. And the way you're going to get this ID is by going here under the 3 little dots. So we're going to add one more collection right now so we can show the example. But you want to go here, edit settings, and then copy this right here. So the ID of your collection, not the name, because this won't work. You have to make sure it's the collection ID. I've seen this happening a lot. A lot of people create a collection, then they change the name, and then they try to use the name that they changed it to. But the thing that's gonna stay or what matters is the collection ID. So just keep that in mind. Then the next part is gonna be this section right here, where we're gonna change the items, right? So what are we searching for? And let me see this part actually. So we have the unique ID for the repeater also, which is gonna be this one right here, and we're gonna add all of them right now. So we're gonna go step by step because I don't want to confuse you. So let's go back to our new page, and then we're gonna go to this. So first thing, we're gonna name this, it's search input. So that way you make sure you name your element. And then right here, your repeater, right now I have it just as repeater 1, but you can change it to repeater results. And then you do need, because it's not going to be connected to any data set, we do need to get the ID for each of these elements. So in this element, because it's an image, I'm going to change it to image results. And then this one is going to be changed to title. And to actually, that way to make it easier for you to find in the code, we're going to change it to full name result or results. Let's do result. So that way you know how to identify it because it's going to have the result after. This one is also going to be email txt result. So result right there. It's and remember, this is case sensitive, so this will be lowercase, capital case. This one I have it as result. So let's just change to result, and then this one also result. So we have the IDs, the what's it called? The repeater has everything. So now we can work on the collection. So we're gonna go here and I'm gonna add a new collection. This is the only time that I'm gonna do this for this part is because I need a third collection. So that way you see exactly how we're gonna do it. But in your case, if you already have the collection, then just wait for the next part. So we're gonna go and add a dynamic page here. And I want to use something like latest news. So that way I have an extra collection in add content for me, so I don't have to add it. So perfect. So now as you can see here, we also have different elements. And the collections that we're going to be using are the following. So we're going to use the team, projects, and news. Those are the ones that I'm going to use. So what I'm going to need is the IDs for each of these elements. So let me show you where you're going to get the IDs. So you're going to click edit settings. You're going to copy your IDs and we're going to replace them on the code. So I'm going to create a new code right now, but I just want you to know what we're going to use. Then we're using collection name. And then on team, same thing. We're going to use collection right here. Sorry. Not collection name on projects, okay? Make sure it's collection ID. Somehow I messed up that. But this is what we're using. Then we're gonna go inside the collection news. And the field IDs that we're gonna use are the following. We're gonna click edit. And then the field ID is this one, title, right? If we go to the different collections, so now let's go to projects. There's also one name, title. Okay, so this is to make sure you identify it very easy because they have the same field ID. You could get confused, so I'm just gonna add a new field here, and this is text. So I'm gonna do something here. So I'm gonna name it title projects. Okay, so that way you'll easily identify this. And actually, to make it even easier, because I don't want it to be confusing, I can set it as TE projects. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this and then save, and I'm gonna move it right here. Again, I just want to make sure it's not confusing. So let me copy this here. I'm gonna scroll all the way here, copy, and then paste. Okay, so now I'm not using this one right here, just to give you a heads up. We're gonna use this one right here, TE projects. And then we can just completely hide this for now, so that way it's not confusing. So we're using this one under projects. So we're gonna go back to news, title, we're gonna add also a new one. And again, you don't have to change the IDs, but the only reason why I'm doing it is when you copy the code, it's going to be very easy for you to know which element it is that you need to change. So I'm going to change it to TE news. Okay. So let's do this right here. I'm going to copy all of this, paste it right here, and then I'm gonna hide this. So we're using this one. And then under team, doing the same thing here. Actually, here we don't even have to do it because we're gonna use this one, job title. And then this one is job title. Well, actually, let's just do it so that way, again, it's easier for you to identify on your collection. Team. And then let's move it right here. I'm gonna copy this, paste it right there, and I'm gonna hide this. Okay, so these are the elements we're gonna use, and then on many of these things might be different. So we're gonna use this element, and then we're also gonna use phone. So let's see here under news. So we have full name also, which is similar to team. So we can do, let's move it right here. So we can do the same thing. We're gonna keep this one easy to identify, but then on the full name, we're gonna use the same ID that you have if it matches. But on this one, you notice the field ID is reporter name, which is very strange, but this is the field ID that we're gonna use. If we go to projects, let's see if there's a full name here. There's no full name, so it's perfect. So we're going to use the field ID in my projects. It's going to be very easy to recognize. And then under team, we do have a full name. So this one is named title, which is strange. Let's change it. I'm going to use full name. Then save. I want to make sure it matches the other one. Copy this, paste it right there, and I'm gonna hide this for now. Okay, so we're using this field ID. Perfect. So now let's set the code, and it's gonna be super simple and easy. Okay, so I got the code here, and you can copy the code in the link on the description that I have below. But let me kind of explain a little bit, because this is something I totally forgot earlier. Is because I'm used to only doing one collection search and then using references. But since we have multiple collections, what you want to do is make sure that once you name your repeater, right? So we have our repeater here. That's repeater results. Then because nothing is going to be connected to a data set, then we have to use a more generic ID for each of the elements that we add here. So we have our image result, and I had it as image result. Okay. So we have image result right there. I didn't put the collection name like earlier because I had something there. The title, I also name it main txt results. So I just changed that, and then I did secondary text results. So now let's go over the collection. I made it super easy also, so that way you can change things. On the search, as you can see right here, that also is important that the ID is correct. And then the other very, very important thing is that your collection, it's not going to work if you search it on the live, if you have the privacy or permissions as members only. So make sure that your permissions are set. If you're logged in, then members can search. But if you're not logged in, because a lot of the times people forget this stuff, that they have custom permissions. So make sure also your custom permissions are correct. So let's go through the code really quick. First thing we're having right here is this section where we're telling the system, okay, when initially there's no results. Okay, so whenever nobody has typed anything here, this be collapse. So if we see here on the page, I'm gonna refresh because I already tested. So we have our search input, there's no results. So if you wanna show some type of results in the beginning, we can change it on the code. But for now, I have it set to be collapse. So if you want it to be expand in the beginning, that can also be set. But you also have to decide which results you want to display first. And then, as you can see here, we're scrolling. So this is where we're going to get the search input value, right? So this is our ID right here. So if your ID has a different name, that's where you need to change it. Then as we scroll right here, we have our collections. So if you have multiple collections, more than 3, then all you have to do is just duplicate this and then add the elements that you're going to be searching in this collection. So first, the query is going to have inside, or the search is going to have in the collection name news, right? Projects, and then also here, team. Okay, so those are the main collections that we're searching. So if you would add also, you need to also add these sections right here for the new collection that you're going to add. If let's say you don't have 3 collections, you can delete them very easy. You just need to delete this section right here, and then you're also going to be able to delete right here, all this section right here. So very easy to identify where your code is connected, right? Through the code is by just you highlighting a section, and it tells you where it's like working, right? But anyways, so you have 3 collections here. So we have first collection, second collection, and then third collection. So we're searching in the news collection, the field ID TE news. So if we go here inside our collection, right, we're going to go under news, and then we're going to go here, edit, and this is our field ID, TE news, right? The other thing that we're searching in here, because I want to make sure it's super clear, is on the query is reporter name, okay? So this is another field ID that we're searching for. So if we go here under news, reporter name, which is this one right here, reporter name, okay? And then let's close this one more time. And then if you were to change the reporter's name, which is right here, right? So the reporter's name, if you were to have a different field ID, you will change it right here, and then you also will change it right here. So that's why it tells you secondary text from the news field, okay? So then as we scroll down here, you're going to have all the field IDs, input IDs from your elements. So this element needs to be able to find the result, the field ID. So you need to display the results from this image from your field ID image, right? So this will be your first. So it's image. So if we go to the second one, name news, we go to image, you're gonna notice that's a field ID. But then when we go to team, this one is named photo. Okay, so what we're telling the code to do for the search is that anytime there's a result, the image needs to display according to whatever the search is, the ID that's right here. So as you can see here, this ID is image result, right? So if we go here, we're gonna go to image results, right? So that's our ID, and it needs to find the item image. So this is where even I have it right here, image field from news. This is the main text field from the news. Also the second text is also. So these all are the ones that are inside the repeaters. So if this changes, this is where is that, okay? So it's very clear right here where you need to change it. This, you don't have to do anything on this part right here. You don't need to change any of those. They will stay the same. The ones that will change is this part right here, the image results, the item, and then the field ID. That's your field ID. And then for the main text, the item is the TE field ID. Okay. So as you can see here, this is your secondary text result ID. So you can see, if I click on it, is this one right here. It's right there. Okay. So it's very easy to identify. And the reason why it shows on these three elements is because we have three different collections. So the field ID that is searching, it's inside the field ID reporter name here on this one. On this one is going to be my projects field ID, and then item full name, which are going to be, if we go to news, our secondary field ID is this one right here. Right there. And then on the projects is going to be this one right here. That's the field ID. So now if we test this, right, as we scroll right here, all it does is it's going to expand and collapse depending on the results. And then last thing we need to make sure is that these IDs match also all the elements inside your repeater. That's why they're right here. So this is where you'll change it. So now if we go to this part right here and I just type name, it's showing me the titles, new name, right? And then I'm going to do project now. And now it shows me project name right here. And then if I just type 0, or let's do it number 2. So now I have titles, sorry, news. I have job and then job. So it's searching the whole collection. Hopefully this is not confusing, but if it is, let me know in the comments. I'll be very happy to help you. Or let me know if there's something else that you were trying to do, but I think this is a way to show you that you can search multiple collections and display them on the same repeater. Thank you again for the support. Also, if you have more questions, feel free to connect with me. Let me know in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, that will help me a lot. Thank you and take care.